Yeah.
Okay. I'm Heather Brooke, and I'm an investigative journalist, a campaigning journalist using freedom of information. And my biggest story to date is getting MPs' expenses.
And you got them.
And I did get them, yes.
But your experience with the Freedom of Information Act?
So yeah, I've been using the Freedom of Information Act ever since it came out in Britain, which was January 2005. And I've probably filed, I don't know, like 300 requests, possibly even more, to all different public bodies, the police, House of Commons, various central government bodies, local councils, just trying to get all types of information.
And how important is that to you to raise awareness about transparency, actually about the people's right to this?
Well, this is all information that is collected in the name of the public. It's paid for with public money, and that's why I believe the public has a right to know.
And you want to pass this on to younger people now?
Yeah, so it's very important because obviously I can't make requests to everyone, and it's basically up to people in a society. How do they want a society to work? And if we want it to work well, then we do have some individual responsibility to ask questions. How is our money being spent? What are people doing in our name? And holding them to account for the decisions that they make and the money they spend.
Okay, then the two last small questions. Citizen journalism. I've seen you've been talking about the helpmeinvestigate.com, the website.
Yeah.
Are you positive about it, optimistic? Are people really...
I am positive about it. I think it's a really interesting concept that we make investigative journalism something that is accessible to everyone. Yeah. So it's not just for experts. I mean, certainly there's a role for experts and people like myself who know about freedom of information or other sort of specialist topics, but everybody in a community has some specialist knowledge. You know, maybe they know something about where they live, their street, a particular section of the council. So everybody can bring something into an investigation, and it's not something that they should feel that that it's something they can't do. Everybody can be curious and ask questions. And the problem now is that we don't have local papers, we don't have a lot of local journalists who can be asking those questions. So if there's not people, we don't have these people, journalists, papers, well, who's going to be asking, the councillor, well, why did you spend that money? Why did you go on this trip? It's going to have to be the man in the street, the woman in the street.
But isn't libel? I mean, isn't there a risk for libel or for? Let's say
there could be. Well, obviously, we live in Britain, the world's worst country for freedom of expression, and the most draconian libel law. So that is always a difficulty. I don't know how it's going to play out on the web, because obviously people have an expectation that they can say what they like, particularly if it's true. They feel like they have the benefit of the doubt, and I think it will be an interesting time ahead where the average citizen is starting to realise just how awful the libel law is in this country, that they can't say things.
But do you think in the rest of Europe, I mean, okay, maybe not the libel law, but about transparency? I mean, okay, the United States is better off than Great Britain, but the European government systems...
I don't think there's a lot of transparency going on in the European Parliament, and even what we've seen with MPs' expenses, we don't have that level of transparency on MEPs' expenses. There's plenty to know about that.
European Parliament, you mean?
Yeah. And there's plenty to know about what goes on in the European Parliament. It's definitely not a system that is well respected or commands the interest or confidence of the general populace.
So recently there was some website that has won a case, I believe State Watch, they won a case against the Commission, not against the Parliament, but well, I think that was a step forward.
I don't know.
Oh, so? No, it was a State Watch website that filed them, I believe, 2006, and they just have won something against the European Commission.
I don't know about it, so yeah, I can't really speak about it, I don't know it.
Okay, then.